before the courts, what a former private school director is appealing. Taxing talk, how some Saskatchewan residents are feeling with a new year and new bills to pay. And we meet Saskatoon's newest Citizen of the Year.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. A former director of a Saskatoon private Christian school is back before the courts. He was convicted of several assault charges, but as Stacey Hine tells us, he is appealing some of those convictions and his sentence in a separate case.
John Olababokin is appealing 9 of his assault with a weapon convictions. Last July, Judge Lisa Watson found Olababokin guilty. During his trial, court heard he hit students with a wooden paddle while he was a director of Christian Centre Academy between 2003 and 2007. The school has since changed names twice, first to Legacy Christian Academy and more recently to Valor Academy. Olababokin's lawyer, Ron Piche, says the defense takes issue with how the trial judge assessed his client's testimony. In her decision, Watson said the Crown's witnesses were credible, but found Olababokin was not, citing inconsistencies in his testimony and a change in his demeanor. She also said he was evasive under cross-examination.
She dissected it more than she did the Crown witnesses, and there's precedent out there that could form the basis of an error in law.
The defense is also challenging how a 2004 Supreme Court of Canada ruling limiting corporal punishment was interpreted, arguing it was applied to conduct that took place before the decision.
It's very odd in a criminal law context how you can have a retroactive application of the law.
Olababokin is also appealing his sentence for a separate set of 5 assault with a weapon charges, which he pleaded guilty to in December. He admitted to paddling members of the school's girls volleyball team in October 2003, but said he was following school policy. He received a 5-month conditional sentence to be served in the community. The defense had asked for an 18-month conditional discharge, which would have kept the convictions off his criminal record if the conditions were met.
CTV News asked the Ministry of Justice for comment from the Crown, but it says it can't comment as the matter is before the courts. As for the next steps, the defense will create a written argument outlining why it believes the convictions and sentence should be overturned. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
3 days after a fatal shooting that also injured 3 others, RCMP are still working to find the suspects involved. On Tuesday, a dangerous persons alert was issued for the Big Island Lake Cree Nation, which is about 100 kilometers northwest of Meadow Lake. The community was put on lockdown, and RCMP began looking for 2 suspects armed with a gun. A 31-year-old man was killed and has been identified by family as Neil Wapistaquan. 3 other people were taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The dangerous persons alert was called off, with police saying there was no threat to public safety. Today, RCMP said investigators are still actively working to identify and find the suspects, which involves gathering and processing evidence and video surveillance in the area. Anyone with information on the suspects is asked to call RCMP immediately or submit a tip through Crime Stoppers. 2 people have died following a crash south of Saskatoon in the early morning hours of New Year's Day. Emergency crews were called just before 3:30 yesterday to the collision on Highway 219 near Grasswood Road. A minivan and an SUV collided. RCMP say the drivers of both vehicles were declared dead at the scene. They have been identified as a 58-year-old man from Saskatoon and a 28-year-old man from Wadena. No one else was in either vehicle. A collision reconstructionist is working to determine what contributed to the crash. RCMP have also released more details about a multi-vehicle crash before the new year. On December 29th, 6 collisions involving 10 vehicles near Delmas forced Highway 16 between Maidstone and North Battleford to be closed. No one was seriously injured or taken to hospital. RCMP believe weather was a factor in the crashes, as officers reported very icy road conditions at the time and are reminding drivers to always check the highway hotline before venturing out on the highway. Saskatoon police say it's been a positive start to the new year, with few impaired drivers being pulled off the roads. Officers were out conducting check stops on New Year's Eve, with SPS reporting about 300 vehicles being checked. One driver failed a saliva test for THC and had their license suspended for 60 days and vehicle impounded for 3. Since Saskatoon police started doing mandatory alcohol screening during traffic stops yesterday, 33 drivers have been tested, with 2 suspensions issued so far. Police say overall officers reported traffic was lighter on New Year's Eve than previous years and found many people were taking ride shares, taxis, or had a designated driver. Prince Albert police are investigating after a shooting on New Year's Eve. Police were called to the 200 block of 20th Street East, where the caller said a gun was discharged at a home at about 10:30 that night. Officers found evidence of a shooting, but no injuries were reported. Through investigation, police identified an older model dark SUV that was parked outside. Video surveillance showed a man leaving the vehicle and shooting at a residence before taking off on 20th Street. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or submit a tip through Crime Stoppers. Prince Albert's Salvation Army has moved into its new location for its winter warming center. It's being housed temporarily at the Union Building on 8th Street next to the Legion. The center had been operating out of the Prince Albert Grand Council Urban Services building after a Christmas Day fire destroyed the Salvation Army's original building. Prince Albert's mayor says the Labour Council offered the use of the building, so the Salvation Army will run its services from the new location under a lease agreement.
Everything got picked up and transferred over to the Union Center, and the Grand Council's Urban Center will resume its normal programming, and folks they already know where they're headed.
The new overnight warming center is opening its doors for the first time tonight. We'll have a few more days of cold before things slightly warm up.
They will slightly warm up, be certainly warmer than seasonal for this time of early January, Chantel. But yes, we still have a couple of cold days in store and some quite cold conditions. Prince Albert and northward, and we'll talk about that later on. Keeping our eye on the satellite and radar shot here, we do have these a couple of rounds of snow that are making their way through the province. One has already been impacting Saskatchewan, but not in a significant way. Maybe a bit more snow in Prince Albert and areas just to the north of PA, but not so much here in Saskatoon. But we'll talk about the snow and the cold and the warm-up later on.
Sask Power is looking to raise power bills for the next 2 years. The Crown Corporation is seeking a 3.9% rate increase in February and an additional 3.9% in February of 2027. Sask Power says the increase will help pay for major infrastructure projects. The increases are subject to approval from the Saskatchewan Rate Review Panel, marking the first increase to power rates in 3 years. Meanwhile, SGI is also announcing plans for a 2-year rate increase on auto insurance of 3.75% in both 2026 and 2027. The first increase is taking effect in June, with an average annual increase of $38 per year for most vehicles. Motorcycles and urban taxis are excluded from the first year as SGI works through industry-specific concerns. It's been an expensive year for people across the country and here in Saskatchewan. And as Hallie Mandrick reports, it's unlikely 2026 will get any cheaper.
The cost of living is expected to continue rising in 2026, and it's causing some anxiety among Saskatoon residents.
It's actually made things really, really difficult. Like with the high cost of groceries and everything, it's making it so you really have to shop around.
It's affected me because of my live-in, and I need to find ways to pay for other things, and groceries going up, so sometimes I might have to skip a meal.
The Canadian Taxpayers Federation releasing a poll which reported 86% of Saskatchewan residents are concerned with the financial impact of the provincial debt and the interest charges which come along with it.
42% of a family's budget goes towards taxes of different levels of government. That's more than a family pays for clothing, food, or shelter combined, right? And those are really important things. The biggest thing that families are paying, the biggest expense that they face every single year is that tax bill.
Halbrook says the provincial debt has had a significant impact on taxpayers. In a statement to CTV News, the province said Saskatchewan is the most affordable province in the country, going on to say, quote, Saskatchewan's population, employment, and exports have grown significantly under our government, which requires investment in public infrastructure like highways, waterworks, energy systems, hospitals, schools, and long-term care facilities. facilities. At the same time, our government continues to look for opportunities to reduce the tax burden, like in the 2025-26 budget that brought in the largest personal income tax reduction since 2008 and cut all property tax mill rates. Still, some we spoke to in Saskatoon say they'll try to cut back on expenses in 2026.
Even though all parts are important, you kind of have to start to take apart the slightly less important ones so you can still get the food and everything you need. So it'd be nice to have a more well-rounded life, but it's kind of hard right now.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Women as young as 43 years of age are now eligible to get screened for breast cancer in Saskatchewan. Sierra D'Souza Butts has more on how early screening for women can help prevent the severity of cases.
After finding a lump in her breast, Lisa Vick had to wait 2 months until she received a mammogram.
I had to request a mammogram because I didn't meet the age requirement at that time, as I was only 48, and the self-referral age in Saskatchewan at the time was 50.
Vick says if she was eligible at an earlier age, she could have started the treatment process sooner. Now, with age eligibility for breast cancer screening in Saskatchewan opening up to women as young as 43, she encourages women to get tested as soon as possible.
It doesn't hurt. It's not a painful process. It's quick and it's easy, and just do it for peace of mind.
With breast cancer being the most common diagnosis among Canadian women, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency says lowering the age for women to receive mammograms is part of a broader initiative.
We're doing it in a phased approach. So we started with 50 years of age, and then slowly down to 47, 45, 43. And then by July of 2026, we'll be down to 40 years of age.
7 provinces in Canada already start screening eligibility at age 40. And one national advocacy group says Saskatchewan is headed in the right direction, adding earlier detection reduces the likelihood of severe cases.
Survival rates at stage 1 breast cancer at 5 years are about 100%. But if you are diagnosed at stage 4, those rates drop to 30%. So you can see the difference. It's critical.
Women 43 and older can call into Saskatchewan's screening program to book a mammography appointment. There are currently 2 locations in Regina and in Saskatoon, 6 more across the province, and the mobile mammography unit dedicated to rural communities. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
Saskatoon's 2025 Citizen of the Year is someone who has spent years giving back to her community. From advocating for others to calling for justice and feeding the city, she has earned the honor. Hallie Mandrick introduces us to Mildred Kerr.
Mildred Kerr has spent her life advocating for others. She served on the boards of the Open Door Society, Equal Justice for All, the Ability Hub, was a member of a Premier's Advisory Committee, and a founding member of the Saskatoon Food Bank.
Well, women can multitask.
Kerr's lifetime of hard work and volunteerism has resulted in many accolades. Most recently, the 2025 Citizen of the Year Award presented by CTV. But the 87-year-old says a lot of work is yet to be done.
It's a real mixed feeling of receiving acknowledgement and awards for doing advocacy, speaking out, but nothing changes much.
For Dwayne Brenna, who nominated Kerr, it's not surprising to hear that she still wants to be doing more.
No, never satisfied. I think she looks around herself and sees, injustice happening in this community and elsewhere, and, wants to do something about it.
Originally from Kuroki, Saskatchewan, Kerr spent her career as a social worker while also volunteering for a number of organizations.
Each of us have been given a different set of skills. It may not be advocacy. It may be what you're really good at. It might be cooking. It might be, but do use what skills you've been given.
She's presently involved with the Canadian Federation of University Women, which awards scholarships to low-income women pursuing post-secondary education. And she's a passionate voice in advocating for Saskatchewan's unhoused population.
There's, few of us who are willing to stand up the way she has done and just do the right thing. So the few that do and can, and she's uniquely placed for it because, of course, she was a trained social worker. So she's seen it all. We do need more people like her.
And Kerr says she doesn't plan to stop anytime soon.
Margaret Mead, the anthropologist, said it was only a small group of people who changed the world. It's the only kind that ever does. So it gives you hope. Join.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The Prince Albert Daily Herald and the Prince Albert Kinsman Club announced that city's 2025 Citizen of the Year. Jasmine Pelche spoke with the honoree, someone who has dedicated decades to the service of others.
Or you're going to get something out on Tuesday, Reverend Nora Vedras returned to the Calvary United Church after volunteering at the Salvation Army's temporary warming center and was met with a pleasant surprise.
We had some leftover food, and so I was just in my office making a couple of phone calls to find some places for the food to be distributed. And then people just started pouring into my office.
She was told the Prince Albert Daily Herald and the Prince Albert Kinsman Club had named her Prince Albert's 2025 Citizen of the Year.
Kinsman, of course, and then the Herald, and I think someone, and PA now, and then members of the community, members of the police service were here, and certainly members from the congregation. My office was packed, and all I could think of was, like, I haven't cleaned.
Vedras has been Reverend at Calvary United Church for 20 years. She is chaplain for the Prince Albert Police Service and co-chairs its Women's Commission alongside Elder Liz Settee. Vedras was part of a campaign that raised money this past year for the Salvation Army's new kitchen, which was lost to a fire last week. The Reverend says she was surprised to receive the recognition because she always works as part of a team. Vedras has some advice for those who want to help their communities.
If you see something that you're not happy with, or you think something could be better, don't just wait for someone else to do it or to get asked, to maybe think about what we can do to make things better.
The Prince Albert Citizen of the Year is nominated by community members and then selected by the Kinsman Club and the Prince Albert Daily Herald. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
A popular gathering spot on New Year's Day is Government House in Regina. As is tradition, visitors are able to meet the Honourable Bernadette McIntyre, who gained the role of Lieutenant Governor last year. McIntyre has been to the levee before, but this time was her first as Lieutenant Governor.
This is my husband, Rich, and my first levee as a Lieutenant Governor. I've been here before, however, not as Lieutenant Governor. So we're very, very excited to meet the people and welcome the new year.
And we've had such a divisive year with so many challenges to our country, to our very sovereignty. And so more than ever, we need to feel like a community and to support each other.
The event also had a craft room as well as 2 bands playing music in the main hall. Saskatoon and Prince Albert's first babies of 2026 are both girls. Emilia Iron came into the world at 1:11 a.m. yesterday at Jim Pattison Children's Hospital in Saskatoon. She weighed 3 pounds, 14 ounces. Both she and mom, Emily Iron, who traveled from Canoe Lake First Nation, are doing well. A few hours later, Virginia McCallum was born to Corleen Seawap and Leighton McCallum at Prince Albert's Victoria Hospital at 9:33 yesterday morning. Virginia weighed 5 pounds, 10 ounces and joins 6 siblings in their hometown of Pelican Narrows. Still to come, just how much are Canada's CEOs getting paid and what investigators say sparked a deadly fire in Switzerland. You're watching CTV News Live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. Investigators in Switzerland believe lit sparklers on champagne bottles started a fire at a bar at a popular ski resort during New Year's celebrations. Officials confirmed 40 people died and 119 were injured. Witnesses say a waitress was on the shoulders of another server and was holding the bottle too high and the ceiling caught fire. Experts say the acoustic paneling on the ceiling may have been highly flammable. The fire was fueled by combustible gases. Witnesses say some people didn't realize the seriousness of the situation at first. Then there was chaos as people frantically tried to escape the inferno. The crowd surged trying to get up a narrow flight of stairs and through a narrow door. Most of the injured have now been identified. Canada is on track to accept fewer new residents, international students, and temporary workers in 2026. It's part of the federal government's efforts to reduce levels and prioritize economic immigration. As CTV's Rachel Aiello reports, skilled workers who can fill critical labor gaps in high-demand jobs may have the upper hand.
For many wanting to call Canada home, the latest immigration levels plan has injected uncertainty into the year ahead. For example, the federal government is cutting the number of international students it'll accept this year in half. A reduction this PhD candidate, who came to Canada from Iran in 2021 to do cancer research, says while necessary, has left many prospective students in limbo.
They don't feel welcomed here. They were invited to come here. They were accepted to come here. And now they're just caught in this perfect storm.
Canada will also be accepting fewer temporary workers this year.
They're more focused on labor shortages now.
Overall, the government plans to admit 380,000 permanent residents in 2026, down from the target of 395,000 admissions in 2025.
There's always winners and losers. The winners are going to be the Canadians, particularly the young Canadians, looking for that entry-level job that has been occupied by a foreign national. The losers are going to be the foreign nationals who came here with false promises of permanent residence.
While it may be shaping up to be a challenging year for the thousands with temporary status who can't stay, Canada is offering express entry for prospective newcomers who speak French or have skills in key sectors, such as trades, agriculture, engineering, education, and healthcare.
Instead of a broad, open arms approach to immigration, it's more selective now. It's more focused on ensuring that the economy can absorb their permanent residents and the workers coming in.
Linked to the shift towards prioritizing economic immigrants is a plan to spend more than $1 billion on a new international talent attraction strategy to incentivize leading researchers and innovators to come to Canada. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
We are getting a new glimpse of how much money Canada's highest paid CEOs are making. It was a record year for the top 100, and it also highlights the growing income gap between executives and the average worker. Camille Carmali is following this story for us tonight.
Here at Canada's busiest mall, new items stocked for the new year, but affording them.
Are you able to afford shopping?
No.
Is a different story.
The cost of living, it's become really hard.
Especially for the many here making minimum wage.
I feel bad because I can't buy expensive things for my friends and family.
Elizabeth and Jillian work as servers. The holidays may have left them high in spirit, but low on cash.
It's crazy that there's billionaires and millionaires while people can't even afford to eat.
Now, a new report shows Canada's top CEOs make in the first day and a half of the new year what the average worker makes in an entire year.
Yeah, CEOs have always been paid more than the average worker, but it's the gap that has really grown substantially.
The average Canadian worker made just over $65,000 in 2024. Compare that to the average pay for Canada's top 100 CEOs at more than $16 million, which is a new record. That's 248 times the salary of the average Canadian. And that pay gap has been climbing for years. CEOs were paid 50 times more than the average Canadian worker in the 1980s. That increased to about 100 times in the 90s and to 150 in the 2000s, now hitting a new high.
When companies do well, the CEO sees huge expansion in their bonuses, and companies have been doing very well since the pandemic.
The head of Shopify topping the list with a new record at over $200 million, more than doubling the second highest paid CEO in Canada.
It's easier for CEOs to raise their own pay and not affect the profitability of the company than it is to raise worker pay, which has a much bigger impact on the profitability.
The report suggests implementing a millionaire's or wealth tax. The report also confirming what many have already reported, the costs of goods and services in Canada, like groceries, increasing at a much faster rate than workers' wages. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
Canada's Prime Minister will visit France early next week to join talks with Ukraine's European allies. Mark Carney will be in Paris Monday and Tuesday for a gathering of the so-called Coalition of the Willing. The group is looking to advance a peace deal. The Prime Minister's office says Carney's focus remains on fortifying Ukraine, supporting its long-term recovery, and deterring future Russian aggression. The mayor of Calgary is thanking residents today for cutting their water consumption in the wake of this week's major water main break. Meanwhile, new video shows the force of Tuesday's break launching a vehicle into the air. You can also see a driver standing on the hood of their vehicle to avoid the gushing water. A boil water advisory is still in effect in some areas. Officials still don't know why the Bearspaw South feeder main broke for the second time in 2 years. The 2024 break cost them 80 million litres from Calgary's water storage. All right, Jeff, back here at home. Warm-up is in store, but we just have to wait a few days.
It's not even feel like, hey, a couple of days, depends on where you are. Down south, things are going to warm up fairly quickly. Here in Saskatoon, the warm-up maybe takes one more day, and then we get into some seasonal temperatures, and the warm-up shows up. Farther north, it takes a little longer, but still there is a warm-up in store. We'll talk about that in a second or two. Let's rock and roll here and take a look at some numbers. We've got ourselves minus 16 degrees in Saskatoon with some flurries. Ditto that for Prince Albert, and close to that in the Battlefords region. It has been, there's been a bit more prolonged snowfall in Prince Albert than in the Battlefords and Saskatoon, but we're still not looking like at a ton of snow here. Maybe about 2 to 4 centimeters in Prince Albert, less in Saskatoon and the Battlefords. Minus 16, our current temperature, that is our 24-hour high temperature. Dropped down to minus 19 last night. Minus 12 and minus 22 is typical for this time of January. 5 degrees, the record warm temperature for January 2. That was set in 2 James Bond 007, and minus 41 in 1943. The sun came up at 9:16 and went down 5:06.
Coming up, a new way for fans to cheer. A look at one man's creation allowing people to be loud and proud for their team.
Your Morning Saskatchewan. We continue our New Year's coverage with a look back at the year that was and what to expect in 2026.
Okay, taking a quick look through the live lens of Skycam. A nice shot of the city of Saskatoon. A little bit of reflection off the South Saskatchewan there. Some traffic on the traffic bridge. La-di-da. Is the weather la-di-da? Well, it is, it's improving. It's improving. We won't call it la-di-da, but still have some snow slashing through Alberta and Saskatchewan into parts of Manitoba. We're not expecting a lot in the way of accumulation with this second round. It's going to show up later on. We'll show you that in the future cast, but let's take a look right now. Minus 16 degrees in Saskatoon and Prince Albert, minus 17 in the Battleford. Just a little recap there for you. The hot spot in the province, well, on New Year's Eve, Cypress Hills Provincial Park was the hot spot at +5. Today, they're the hot spot at -5. Minus 30 is the cold spot for the 2nd of January, and that was in Uranium City. On to our current temperatures. It's minus 16 degrees in Lloydminster, minus 9 in Swift Current, minus 12 in Regina and Estevan, minus 16 in Yorkton. Into central Saskatchewan, not much of a temperature range here. As warm, as shall we say, as minus 14 degrees in Rosetown. It cools off to minus 18 in a number of communities, but as you can see, most places hanging around that minus 16 or minus 17 degree mark. Up north into the minus 20s, and as you can see, it's minus 26 in Stony Rapids and minus 20 in Buffalo Narrows and La Ronge. Down south, does it warm up a lot? Well, a little bit, minus single digits for East End and Cornack. Otherwise, minus double digits for everywhere else on this part of our map, and the coldest it gets is minus 16. That's in Melville. It's minus 10 in Maple Creek and Assiniboia, minus 13 in Outlook, as well as minus 13 in Carlisle. There's that first system that brought the snow that we're dealing with right now. It's getting out of here, but then another little system sort of shows up, and we do anticipate a little bit of flurry activity tomorrow, but not a lot of accumulation. So around the province we go. Temperatures in the minus 20s in northern Saskatchewan with cloudy or mainly cloudy skies. We're looking at clouds where a little bit of flurry activity for west central Saskatchewan. Minus 18 for Meadow Lake and Spiritwood. Minus 14 for Kindersley. Minus 15 for Rosetown. Spiritwood and Rosetown anticipating some flurries. Flurries also expected expected an outlook with a high of -14, -3 in Maple Creek, -11 in Leader, and -9 in Swift Current. Into southeastern Saskatchewan, -17 in Yorkton, but it looks like Regina, Moose Jaw, and Estevan will all be hovering around that -13 degree mark. And then into central Saskatchewan, east central Saskatchewan rather, temperatures basically around that -17, -18 degree mark, and cloudy or mainly cloudy skies. For the Battlefords, dropping down to -23 degrees tonight, warming up to -17 tomorrow, which isn't all that warm, and that's why there is a risk of frostbite. Pretty good chance of some flurries tomorrow for the Battlefords. -14 on Sunday, -13 on Monday, but into the nice single digits on the minus side on Tuesday and Wednesday. For Prince Albert area, an overnight low of -24. Tomorrow's high -18, so a risk of frostbite overnight into tomorrow. -15 on Sunday with a chance of flurries. -14 to start the work week, and -10, which is above seasonal and staying above seasonal right through to Friday. Look at 7 on the minus side on Wednesday. Not bad. In Saskatoon, -23 degrees with light snow tapering off tonight. A risk of frostbite, but that second system rolls in, and we do anticipate a chance of flurries tomorrow, still with a risk of frostbite with a high of just -16 degrees, so about 4 degrees below seasonal for this time of January. Then, look at this, seasonal or above right through to next Friday, and looking pretty good on Tuesday and Wednesday. -9 on Tuesday, -8 on Wednesday. Might be a opportune time to get out and maybe take down some Christmas decorations.
Stage where it all started and then ended and is maybe starting again depending on how tonight goes.
Disney Plus is out with a preview for the return of The Muppet Show. Kermit, Miss Piggy, and many more iconic Jim Henson characters are back for a one-off special event on February the 4th. Hey, that's my older brother's birthday, and he loves The Muppets. It will also feature appearances from executive producers Seth Rogen and Sabrina Carpenter, as the trailer suggests. It's the expected The Muppet Show special could set the stage for a broader relaunch of the series 50 years after the original debuted. Waka waka. The new year means some classic other characters are now part of the public domain. The original Betty Boop, whose trademark hoop earring started off as floppy dog ears, is among those that are now available for public use. She's joined by Popeye, Tintin, and the first version of Disney's Pluto, who was named Rover. Under U.S. law, the copyright on thousands of works from 1930, including books, movies, songs, and cartoons, expired as of January 1st. But don't worry, if you own real estate, it's still yours. Box office revenue in Canada and the U.S. rose slightly in 2025. A new ComScore report says ticket sales increased to nearly $9 billion in what's being called a small but significant gain of 2%. It comes despite long stretches of empty seats as well as several wide releases that failed to draw crowds. A number of franchises are hoping to keep sales up by offering membership deals to frequent customers. By the way, 2% is below the rate of inflation in both Canada and the USA.
All right. Thanks for the fun fact.
Well, pesky details.
Yeah. Speaking of details, detailed picks of the day today.
That's right. We got some nice ones here. Let's take a look here. See what we've got for you. First one, this comes from some Jason Hoagie Hogan, and taken in Rosthern on December 23rd. A beautiful day, but chilly though. So yeah, a nice shot there. So thank you, Jason. Next from Lauren, Sundogs at Milden, -30 with a hard wind blowing. Low down Sundogs almost seem like we're on an alien planet. Ooh, the ice planet of Hoth, maybe? Maybe. Thank you, Lauren. And finally, yeah, from Hilda Lowen in Warman, Martin enjoying the new snow. That diggity dog who's out there having some fun. And if you'd like to share an image with us, you can do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca. And please put Pick of the Day in the subject line.
Still to come on CTV News, cornering the market on being loud, how one invention is allowing fans to be heard while staying quenched. An Ottawa man has turned a do-it-yourself project into a multi-million-dollar business. He's given sports families a new way to cheer on their kids thanks to his Loud Cup. CTV's Sean Varden explains.
That is a Loud Cup. So we launched in 2021, and last July, I think we hit 1 million loud cups sold. And
It started during the COVID lockdown, an idea to entertain kids. Just a few pieces of pipe and a bicycle inner tube.
It was actually quite effective, and the way that it was sitting on my desk, it looked like a cup with a handle on it. And then for whatever reason, my mind starts wandering. And, I thought, well, that'd be a pretty awesome mashup, a cup that sounds like a horn.
That idea transformed into a local success story, now worth millions.
So eventually, during COVID, I had a little eureka moment and decided to try and 3D print it. And it just snowballed from there. Prototype after prototype.
After dozens of prototypes and countless hours, success.
And I can sip and cheer at the same time. The moms just love it. I mean, not only does it allow us to bring a drink in the arena of water, of course, and but we don't need a bell anymore. We just use the loud cup. We can sip and we can blow the horn and then cheer our kids.
Conahan's business growing, the Ottawa startup not forgetting to give back, sponsoring local golf pros, rowing and hockey.
Called Jay and I said, hey Jay, the team's looking for sponsorship. And Jay said, yeah, no problem.
The Stittsville Rams receiving funds and their own loud cups.
We bring it loud and proud and yeah, we love it.
Obviously we're a business and, we're here to make money, but if we can support youth, if we can support families, we're all in.
So far, loud cups are only available online. Conahan says with 6 employees, it's a lot of work, and he's looking to partner to take the business to the next level.
It's been an absolute exhausting, but wild ride for sure.
Sean Varden, CTV News.
When we come back, we take a check on the ice at the World Juniors and later making waves while ringing in the new year.
Okay, let's take a look at our rural forecast for Saturday. And as we said, yes, there's a possibility of some flurries, maybe a bit more substantive snow in Lloydminster before that system starts to sort of wring itself out. And then some places will be getting a little bit of flurry activity. Temperatures are going to be below seasonal for at least one day for many locations. And then, as you can see, as we make our way towards the eastern side of the province, it's not too bad. We've got ourselves minus 17 in Wynyard, minus 14 in Outlook, but it's going to be improving. But let's take a look down south where things do warm up substantially. Minus 3 in Maple Creek, minus 9 in a number of locations. Towards the eastern side of the province, yes, we do drop down, but Rosetown is expecting flurries, but it doesn't look like there's much in the way of precipitation for any of these other locations. So let's check in on Radisson. Well, I can tell you what we've got going on. We've got some snow for tomorrow, minus 16 degrees, winds out of the southeast at 10. The next home game for the Radisson Wheat Kings is Friday, the 9th of January. They're taking on the Glasgow North Stars. So that's what's going on in Radisson. And Radisson is where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from Sasktel.
It's a big night for hockey fans across the country as Canada plays its first elimination game at the World Junior Championships in Minneapolis.
Correct. Snaps that pass ahead.
The Canadians went undefeated in 4 round-robin games to finish atop Group B. In this evening's quarterfinal, they take on Slovakia, who ended up 4th in Group A. Canada will look to avoid the same fate as the last 2 years, losing in the quarters. The game begins tonight at 7:30. You can watch it on TSN. Many people are making use of their holiday time to head out to the lake for a little ice fishing. Damien Smith takes us onto the ice at Regina Beach to check in with some winter anglers.
Though ice fishing might sound cold, the experience can actually be pretty comfortable and a warm experience.
It's been really great. You just show up and all of this was all ready to go. It's so nice and warm in here.
Here at Regina Beach, ice shacks of all shapes and sizes are scattered across the lake, a popular getaway during the winter holidays. Some avid anglers also rent out shacks holding up to 6 people, making the sport as accessible as possible.
We have all the holes drilled for you. We have the rods and the lures that are working here. So we give you a little bit of a demo and you're kind of set up for the day.
Czar and his son Bennett say ice fishing is a good transition into taking up the activity year-round, especially with the patience needed to make a catch.
I think that ice fishing is actually probably more popular than summer fishing. You have access to the whole lake. You don't need a boat. Your cost, if you're looking to get into ice fishing, you can buy a hand auger for probably under $100 right now.
While Bennett helps out with the fishing accommodations, it reminds Brad of his childhood out on the lake.
I have two brothers. We had a pedal boat, and we would go and pedal around and catch fish.
Fishing can definitely be a family experience for those looking to pass down the passion for pike.
I like it that the fish, that it takes time, and that when you catch the fish, it looks cool.
While the warmth inside can be considered a luxury on its own, the Czars also have installed a TV with an underground camera to give an expanded fishing experience.
It's just been really great to be able to just show up and have everything ready for you. I think if we had come out without a shack, we'd be here for maybe an hour or so, but here we'll probably be out here all day.
Damien Smith, CTV News, Regina Beach.
Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon is just under $1.12 a litre. The lowest price in town, $1.069. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco finished the day up today, and Nutrien also up by $2.07. Coming up, taking the plunge into 2026. Then the new year going swimmingly in China.
Select Hair Service is brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Hundreds of people kicked off the new year in Germany with a brisk dip in the North Sea. About 800 people entered the water in small groups at a time, cheered on by spectators along the beach. The event went ahead despite the icy temperatures and the strong winds. But firefighters and the German Life Saving Association were on hand to ensure safety. After the swim, participants warmed up with hot showers at a nearby indoor pool. It was just one of a number of New Year's Day swims along the coast. And a lot of them happen even across the country.
That's true, absolutely. Not my cup of tea, but there you go. I suspect they'd maybe warm up some schnapps as well.
Maybe. But I don't know. That's not for me, but... To each their own,
not
right?
for me either. Not for me either, but there you go. Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Exactly. All right, well, speaking of water, water was also used as part of a way of ringing in the new year in China. This aquatic performance is actually fascinating to watch. It took place in a massive water tank. The show features swimming, dangers, holding their breath for 2 to 3 minutes underwater. So
that is very impressive.
Yes. Would you do that if you could?
My performance will last 30 seconds because it's like, okay, I'm out of breath.
Yeah. But fun to watch.
Yeah, very cool. Didn't Cirque du Soleil have like an aqua show or something like that? Wasn't it called O, like French for water?
But like that?
Well, I don't know. It's Cirque du Soleil.
Okay,
probably some jugglers
I don't
involved.
It being underwater like
that.
But.
And a trampoline.
Yeah.
Water and a trampoline. It's Cirque du Soleil. There we go. Let's take a look and see what we got going on here if we have time for this. It's going to be a cold day tomorrow, but the good news is as we roll into Sunday, things start to moderate, and we've got a fairly warm, for January situation coming our way in the work week.
Seasonal, not seasonal?
Well, this is not seasonal, but Sunday, it'll be seasonal, and then above seasonal. Okay. Weren't you watching earlier? It's above seasonal.
Just clarifying your terms and such. But we'll take the warmer temperatures. But despite the cooler weather, some people are actually happy to be outdoors today, taking in some winter activity. Optimist Hill packed today with people strapping on their snowboards, taking their toboggans up the hill. We're going to leave you with some of the highlights captured by one of our talented photographers, Dan Shingoose. Have a great and safe, happy weekend. Thanks for watching.
Bye now.